welcome to the 10,000 subscriber special. It is 10 to 10 Tuesday. It is March 20 something. And, well, I'm busy. So I figured I got a few minutes here to spare, and I'm going to give you a live stream to thank all 10,000 subscribers on my channel, New Car Spin. Technically, that's a lie. I'm 14 away, but I figured I'll just do this now. I'm going to show you what I bought. I bought a project car, and I'm going to feature it in a few of my videos coming up on New Car Spin. I have a lot of stuff coming up. I've got a track day with Fiat. I've got a track day with 20 plus manufacturers. Those are both in April. Right now I'm driving a Jeep Grand Cherokee Summit. You know, I've got my Dodge Durango Destroyer Gray. And I have this project car. The next week I'll have a Lexus LX 570, which I'll be off-roading in Austin. So I got a lot of stuff coming up, but this I managed to squeeze in for you. It's retro. I figured, hey, I can spend 10 grand on a 19-year-old, or I can spend 10 grand on a 19-year-old car. And that's exactly what I did. And I bet you cannot guess what it is. This guy's back in his trailer. It looks like a lot of fun. Anyway, here's the key. And in addition to that, it has an alarm, and it has a little key fob, because this is 19 years old. This is what it sounds like when I lock it and unlock. Oh yeah. And it just happens to be that car right there. That is a 2000 M Roadster. It's based on the Z3. This has the inline 6. And, well, it's the N52. Sorry, the S52. There is an S54 in the 01 and the 02, but because this is the, sorry, the 52. I got really confused because there's also a 50, but that's only for Europe. So there's the S52 in this one. There's the S54 in the 01 and the 04 and the 02. I'm going to start it up for you. Let me pop the hood first. Basically, it's not cherry fresh mint. It has seen days on the track, obviously, but it has been maintained. It just has some like patina and some character on it. So the trunk obviously needs a new strut. It holds pretty well, but it could use some support. And overall, the body's straight. This badge, the guy painted the red on there. It's pinkish if you don't look at it in the sun. And of course there are a lot of rock chips up here, but I could always get that sorted out. The beautiful part is that it actually runs. So here's some more of the Fiat logo. But it's actually really fun. Let me just put the key in. Here's the interior. Quite a busy day here. All right, so we'll just start this puppy up. There you go. Original stereo, which includes a CD slot. And you'll see our gauges here. All these gauges work, and the clock. This car is pretty funny because it's like a throwback, and there's no luxury in here. It's not a crazy sporty like the new Z4 or the Supra. But this is basically the genesis of those cars, I believe, because we still have the inline 6 in here. And what we don't have, though, we don't have lane departure, we don't have radar cruise, we don't have auto braking, we don't have any intervention at all. We do have ASC, which can be disabled. We have a limited slip diff in the rear. So you can have a lot of fun with this car, and it only came in a manual. So it has a dual mass flywheel, it has a clutch delay valve. Those things all work together to give you a smoother driving experience, and some people take these things and throw them out, and then they put it in all sorts of racing gear, and that's not my plan. The basis of this project car is preserve the manual. So I'm doing my best to preserve a manual car that I think is the best car that ever came out in that time. This actually has the M3 engine in it. So the S52 was what they put in the M3. They put it in here. It's producing 240 horsepower to a 5-speed manual. And let me pop the hood. Also, on the M Roadsters, you'll see the leather wrapped everywhere. It's all stitched in leather. There's a lot of detail in this car, and it's in pretty good shape. Hopefully I popped the hood. Nope, I didn't do it. Now I did it. It's hard to do with one hand. Let's give it a shot. There it is. So, the S52 has the metal oil filter housing. The M52 is the standard that came in the 2.8 or the 3.0. And you'll also see this is the S52 intake on there. The M52 is actually wider, and some people will throw this S52 into an E33 series and then take the M52 intake and put it on there. They'll go nuts, but looking pretty good. So let's go ahead and take it around the block. It's kind of tricky because it's a manual. It does have power steering, but it does not have a temperature gauge. I don't even know what the temperature is outside. It's either hot or cold, so that's kind of cool. Manual parking brake, of course, and cup holders. You get all sorts of different configurations for an armrest here, and this is what this car came with, and it's not bad. The color of this car is Estoril blue, so the paint and the leather sort of match. Of course, it's a little faded out here, but that's okay. I'm gonna put my seatbelt on. Put you down there for a second. Let this truck go by. All right, this will be weird because I can't see the screen. I got the rear camera or the front camera on. All right, this is what it sounds like. Kind of in a business area here, and I think that's a cop, so I'll take my time. Anyway, this is the funnest car, and I only bought it on Monday. I actually saw the car for sale on Thursday or Friday, and I checked it out on Saturday. And I wasn't looking for a project car. I wasn't doing anything other than going, hey, that's a nice looking car and it's close by. I might as well give it a shot. And that's what I did. And it's kind of like when you go to animal shelter and the dog comes right up to you and just puts its head on your lap. That's exactly what this car did. It just basically was so much fun that I had to have it. And it picks up and goes in every gear. There's so much torque in this thing, and it's so much fun. But basically, I just want to thank all of you for 10,000 subs. This is a car that I will feature in some of my videos, and I really appreciate all of your support, and I look forward to doing more for you. I have more on the way, but right now, it's time to go to the mechanic. So I'm going to get the diff fluid change, the manual transmission fluid change, the brake fluid, and the slave fluid there for the slave cylinder for the clutch. Check the transmission mounts, check the flex disc, oil change, fuel filter change, coolant flush, and we'll start from there. That's what I'll do. I have 105,000 miles on here, so I'd rather start with basically a clean slate, and that's what I'll do. Probably pop about $2,000 into the service and maintenance to reset it and get it where it needs to be. It's really smooth and really powerful, as you can tell. And if you can find one of these, get one. They're going to be harder and harder to find as time goes on because of people like me. I guarantee it. And people look for the 01 and the 02, but those are even more of a they're difficult. They're actually very difficult, mainly because things like the fuel filter are built into like the fuel pumps, so you have to replace expensive parts, and the Vanos is even more complicated than the Vanos on this one. So do your research, obviously, and go with your gut. But I would say the market right now is pretty hot on these things, and I understand why now. I've always wanted one. I have brochures of these cars from when I was a kid, and I've had a Roadster before. It was the Mercedes AMG SLK 55, and I picked that one up in Germany, and basically that was a blast. I had it for 7 years. But this, because it's a manual and it's just more drivable in the city, I love it. I think I can drive this all day, every day, but it's not going to be my daily driver. It's just going to be my toy. So there you go. Now I'm heading over to the mechanic, and I will see you guys later. I got another video coming out with the Jeep Grand Cherokee Summit, and I'll see you later.